Good afternoon, St. Helena community. I am Mary Lou Wilson, the superintendent for the school district, and we are here this afternoon to provide information with regards to COVID-19 and the 2021 school year. We are on channel 27 and also live streaming through YouTube, and you can access the YouTube website through our district homepage. On March 13th of this calendar year, we closed school for 2 weeks. And I truly believed at that time that we would be back in school that week before spring break and finish the school year as normal. And we know that that's not what happened. And in fact, we closed the school buildings for the rest of the school year. Everyone was in crisis while sheltering at home. All of our employees, our students, and our parents tried to figure out how to work, be at home, learn, and be at home all of the time. We know we hit barriers in our instructional model. We know that our systems were not perfect, and we believe in continuous improvement. We are making plans to ensure that our programs in the 2021 school year are rigorous and robust. As the superintendent of the district, I've been participating in state and county level meetings since March. That allows me to collaborate with our fellow superintendents here in the Napa County and within the state. I also have been working with the Napa County Public Health Department and Dr. Relucio, our public health doctor. In the next days, we expect to receive additional guidance from the Napa County Public Health to assist us in finalizing our plans. In the school district, we have what we call an emergency team that has met over the course of the last number of years to support power outages, fires, smoke incidences. And that team began meeting in late February, early March to manage COVID-19. We soon changed the team's name now to Transition Team because we are transitioning into a new school year and working to return to school. The transition team is made up of all of the central office administrators, myself, Andy Stubbs, Chris Heller, the board president, Maria Haug, all of our principals, representatives from maintenance and operations, technology, food services, and our school staff. And they're working on governance and operations, wellness and mental health, instruction, facilities and maintenance, food services, and technology. In addition, throughout this event, I have been meeting on a regular basis with our parent leaders from each of our school sites. Recently, we asked the parent leaders to join the transition team. In addition to our parent leaders being on the transition team, we've sought feedback from you as parents via 2 online surveys, emails, online comments and concerns, and conversations. Today's presentation is focused on providing additional information to help you understand our work to date, which is in direct response to the comments we received from you. The comments came via the website, and by and large, they were concerns centering around the following topics: school schedules, what will they be? Online learning, hybrid learning, or full-day learning. Safety precautions, including will students wear masks? Will there be washing stations? What will physical distancing look like? Grades, and a concern that there would be grades. Mental health for our students. Learning platforms, what will they look like? Communication. Food services, how will we feed students? And the potential second wave of the virus, and what happens if we need to be in full remote. So this afternoon, Chris Heller will address instruction and the surveys that have been conducted and some protocols around students. And Andy Stubbs will address all of the business operations and anything else that falls within ensuring school can reopen. Chris?
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. I'd like to start my presentation by focusing on the results of the parent survey. As you can see on the screen, our first parent survey was conducted in early June. And those results have been shared with the governing board at the recent June 18th board meeting. And you can find the results in the board docs, as well as an additional link that's on our district website. This latest survey was conducted at the end of June and June 23rd through the 30th, and it provided additional information for us to consider as we begin developing our plans. As we know, conditions are changing rapidly, and so the results that parents provided during this time are also taken with a notion that things have changed quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. We did receive 532 responses to this particular survey, and I'd like to share those results with you right now. On the first slide, the question is, with current health conditions in mind, I would prefer the schedule for fall for my child to be A, 100% remote learning, B, hybrid, and C, 100% regular school day. And based on the results, you could see that about 53.2% of our respondents chose 100% of a regular school day, and 30% selected hybrid, and 15% selected remote learning. The second question centered on remote learning, and if that was an option, how frequently would parents like their students on a Zoom or a Google Meet with their teachers? And the responses were from 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, or 3 to 4 hours, and this implies each day. And you can see the results show that it lands mostly in the 1 to 2 hour range with a response rate of 42%, and then second would be 3 to 4 hours. We also keep in mind that there is a range of students' ages that we need to consider, that a first grader would be very different than a junior or a senior in viewing material on a Zoom or Google Meet. Third question centers around a hybrid schedule, and a hybrid schedule would have a blend of instruction and remote learning. And the response for A would be a daily student contact with 2 to 3 hours in school. B would be school attendance for 2 to 3 days a week. And C would be that students would be in attendance for 1 week following a week off. And an overwhelming response of 62% showed that parents selected 2 to 3 days a week as an option for us to talk further about, and I will share that information later in the presentation. We talk more about the models. The fourth question asks, if the district had regular daily school, what concerns you the most about safety? And the three selections were physical distancing, mask coverings, and cleaning and disinfecting. And as no surprise, it ranged about a third in response, with all three of those being the highest priority, which is why I didn't offer a selection D, all of the above, knowing that those were very important to our families. But we were hoping to see if there was one that stood above the others, and we could see that they're all three equally concerning. And the last one is, if the district were to provide a 100% remote learning for the first semester, trimester, or the full year for your child, through a credentialed teacher or an accredited online program, would you elect to keep your child at home for this option? And we had about 40% respond yes and 60% no. So as we begin talking about these models of learning, this is something that the district needs to consider for our staffing and providing for our students. So as we begin to talk about the three instructional models that we're considering for the fall, all will be in alignment with the Napa County Health Office and their directives. We are also currently working with our teacher representatives and providing input and recommendations on what those three models would look like in terms of daily instruction. One of the key pieces of the three models is that they would be able to be easily transitioned from one to another. So we could easily go from remote to hybrid to full day, given any change in conditions within the health and COVID-19 related cases. One of the things that we also want to provide is that all schedules are going to have daily attendance and grades. And that's a big question for parents moving forward, because last year's model is last year's, and we're going to move forward with a new model. So if we were to select a remote model, this would be when conditions would worsen and we would be with expanded shelter-in-place orders, much like we were in stage 1 and early stage 2. This would be a worst-case scenario option for us at this point. The other two options have in-person designs. The hybrid would have an early stage 2, possible mid-stage 2, and that would involve like a group A and a group B rotating 2 to 3 days a week. What that looks like exactly is still to be worked out, but you would consider that your student would be in school in person 2 to 3 days a week and learning from home an additional 2 days. And the last one would be daily in person, a regular schedule where students would attend each day, and that would be in the late stage 2 or early stage 3 and beyond. And currently right now, as it stands on July 9th, we are in late stage 2. So the in-person models, as I mentioned before, I want to continue to stress to parents that we will have an option for families to opt out and be able to select learning options from home, where you can provide a educational environment for your students where you know that they will be safe every day in their home. If you are interested in this option, more information will be coming out in the next couple weeks to you directly about electing this possibility. As we think about returning students to school, our number one priority is to provide school in the safest model possible. And so we are anticipating additional health and safety protocols from the county health office and some of the things we already do know. One of those is that we're going to ask parents each day to do a wellness check of their student and check their temperature. Any temperature above 100.4, we would ask that students remain at home. We also are going to create physical distancing guidelines for students. While we know that's going to be difficult to enforce at all times, we are going to remind students frequently of that particular distance and whatever it is. We're also going to provide face masks and possibly shields for all of our staff. We're also going to provide face masks for our students. We are also going to clean and sanitize the facilities each day. We are also investigating plexiglass barriers to ensure another level of safety for our students and staff. And we're also going to take a look at personalizing education items. That is crayons and things, rulers that students may share typically. We are going to look at ways that they could have their own individual educational items to not share. Additional considerations that we need to factor in is at the elementary level, we need to consider the idea of a cohort, which is a small same group of students that doesn't intermix with other students but stays pure as the same group. This group would remain the same during recess, drop off and pick up, and possibly any other lunch or food accommodations that the district might provide. At the secondary level, we also have to take a look at electives and how those factor into the school day, as well as extracurricular activities such as sports, band, and choir. But one of the major considerations in any schedule that we need to provide is the support for our vulnerable populations. Those students that are going to require additional support from the district and our staff, and how we can contact them more frequently to ensure that they're keeping pace with the education that we're providing. More to come on these different models as we get closer to developing the final schedules, which will be presented at the governing board meeting on Monday, July 20th. But all these education plans will need additional support to be successful. And for that, I'd like to turn it over to Andrea Stubbs, our Chief Business Official.
Thank you. And the first area that I'll talk about is wellness and mental health. And as Chris mentioned, the most important thing that parents can do to support a safe return to school is to complete home health screenings every morning that include a visual wellness check, questions about symptoms and exposure, and a temperature scan. Our district nurse, Barbara Dondera, will be providing some parent education and safety announcements on the district website, both in writing and in the form of short videos. We will also be providing each school with some free oral thermometers that parents can receive upon request to help with home screenings. Staff will be trained to monitor students for symptoms of illness during the school day, and any sick students will be sent to an isolation area on their campus to reduce the possibility of spread while parents are contacted. We all know that personal protective equipment is the key to reducing the spread, and so based on Napa County public health guidelines, we are ensuring that we have enough available of everything that we need, and Chris mentioned a few of the items that we're purchasing. We are receiving a large stock of some supplies through a free county-wide grant, and other one-time relief funding will cover most of the additional expenses. We will be receiving several thousand disposable masks before the start of the school year, and we will also have cloth masks available for each child, as well as some student desk barriers. In addition to masks, our employees will have plastic face shields, gloves, clear desk barriers, and medical-grade protective equipment for our nurse and any staff members working with sick children. Supporting the mental and emotional health of our students is also a top priority. In addition to our school counselors and psychologists, we are continuing our contract with the Up Valley Family Centers for Student Counseling with some additional hours added this year. Our website lists a variety of other resources through outside agencies and partners that can help students and their families with mental health support, food support, and other basic needs during this time. In the area of facilities and transportation, we are working to align our efforts with the different instructional models that Chris explained in his section. We have purchased lots of wall signs and floor stickers to support physical distancing and remind students and staff about safe health practices such as wearing masks. We have also purchased lots of new equipment to support personal hygiene, such as hand sanitization and hand washing stations, and we've also stocked lots of safe disinfecting products and equipment. For example, we have purchased a variety of special air filters that are designed to reduce the presence of virus in the air and sprayers that can disinfect an area very rapidly. We are working with our custodians on a cleaning and disinfecting plan that will support our instructional models, and we are ensuring that they have the training that they need to do their jobs safely and well. We are also working to ensure that our school buses are safe. Our bus routes will be the same as last year with schedules aligned to the different instructional models. Our drivers will wear masks and have extras available for students who forget to bring one. We are planning to block off rows on the buses to support physical distancing, and the buses will be disinfected daily. In addition, we are planning on performing a major washing and disinfecting of each bus every month as another way to help reduce the presence of the virus. In the area of food services, we are continuing our summer feeding program and providing curbside pickup meal kits that give students 5 days' worth of breakfasts and lunch. When school starts, the lunch schedule will be adapted to the instructional model that we start with, and menus will be adjusted to accommodate the plan. For example, we may continue the use of some prepackaged meals if needed. Our food services staff will continue to practice safe hygiene with meal preparation and delivery, and we have also just been approved to begin a school breakfast program that will provide a free breakfast for every student. This will help to ensure that our students are getting adequate nutrition each day while at school. Finally, I'd like to tell you a little bit about technology support for next year. Our technology staff will continue to provide daily technical support for students and teachers, and we will continue to have wireless hotspots available for families who need it for remote learning. The technology staff is also looking at ways to enhance internet access in the most remote areas. Students will be turning in their devices for about a week at the end of July so that staff can process them and prepare them for redeployment. And we are also purchasing headphones and mice for students to support at-home learning. Teachers will be given any tools they need to deliver remote instruction effectively, and we are streamlining the use of our different platforms such as Google Classroom, Google Meets, and Zoom to make it as easy as possible for students to access content and for parents to support them. So these are all the ways in which the non-instructional departments of the district are working to support our reopening for 2020-21. And with that, I'd like to turn it back to Dr. Wilson to offer some concluding remarks.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Chris, for your work today and for presenting such great information. I also want to thank our transition team and all the members who have been working since March to get into the details of the requirements for a safe reopening of the schools. I'm sure that you were hoping for more details today, And as we have mentioned, the board will receive information and recommendations on July 20th at 9 a.m. at a special board meeting where we will be making recommendations for learning models for the 2021 year. Today's purpose was to give you information, make sure that you know that we are listening to what your concerns are, and that we are moving forward to ensure safety for our students and our employees. I do ask that you take a look at our website. There is a new button that was posted this week called School Reopening, and there's lots of information there right now about reopening of schools, and we will continue to update it as we have more information to give out to you. I did mention already that the board meeting is on the 20th. That will be conducted via Zoom, and the board will again hear staff recommendations. They'll also listen to public comment and ultimately affirm the recommendations as they deem appropriate for the 2021 school year and the learning models that we will put forward. Finally, I want to thank you. Thank you for the feedback that you've given us via the surveys, via email. I welcome any further feedback. You can do that with the parent group leaders who are on the transition team. You can do that through me, M. Wilson at sthelinaunified.org. And I appreciate you watching today, whether it's live or the taped YouTube of this information. And I encourage you to share it with your neighbors, your friends, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you again for everything that you do for the students in our community. Parents, you are an important partner, and we appreciate you and your children. Have a great day.